Bring your composition notebook at all times to class. It's the only way you're going to get things done in here, okay? Thanks. If you have a ring binder, it's not going to work at all. I mean, I'm not even going to grade your papers. You know why? Because you don't have what I require. It's in the rubric too as well. Colleen has 3.
Hi, Mr. Hendrick. We just wanted to make a video to say thank you for all that you've done. So here's just some of the students talking about what we're going to miss about you.
I'm gonna miss his sense of humor. Like, I know when people think Mr. Hendrick, they don't really think funny, but I think he's hilarious. And he's just, like, he's honestly, like, the best teacher. Like, he's the hardest teacher, but I think I've learned the most from him.
Okay, I'm gonna miss Mr. Hendrick's quirky smile and ability to make us read in the airport in London. I'm gonna miss Mr. Hendrick, period, but a lot, mainly his quirky sense of humor and his ability to just kind of shut everyone down in class of like, no, you're wrong.
I'm gonna miss your sense of humor and how you make fun of Sarah every day.
I'm gonna miss his constructive criticism on every work that we do and how he helps us be better writers for college.
Alright. I guess I'll miss most our conversations about like life and stuff. I don't know. We've had some pretty deep conversations, so I guess that's what I'll miss most.
What I will miss the most about Mr. Hendrick is the wonderful emails that he sent me talking about students and parents with a full command of the English language, sarcasm on full display. I really hope that one day I can deliver the same sort of biting email that's still professional in the same way that you did. I'm going to miss that.
I'm going to miss collaborating with fellow students at 2 o'clock in the morning over one of your essays.
J-Dub, I'm going to miss your witty humor and your cynical laugh the most. And I had a great time with you in London, and I wish you the best of luck in all of your endeavors. Thanks.
I'm going to miss the most, like, everything that he's taught me, and as a writer especially, because, you know, it's really easy for high school teachers to just sugarcoat it and tell you you're a good writer and slap an A on your paper, but Mr. Hendrick definitely never does that, which is a good thing. Thanks.
I'm gonna miss all your random life stories about all the cool things that happen in your life. You should, like, for real write a book, by the way. And yeah.
I'm probably going to miss his humor. Him laughing in the back of the class whenever we were like talking or whenever Sarah would freak out.
I'm gonna definitely miss all of Mr. Hendrick's crazy stories. Like hearing about how he just like dropped everything totally made my perception of him completely change, and it just, I don't know, it made me feel closer to him.
I'm gonna miss his constructive criticism the most because it really did help me grow as a person.
And I'm gonna miss like his voice because he has that really good storytelling voice. Like I could like be lulled to sleep like listening to his voice, so I'm gonna miss that a lot. He's just been a really good teacher and he's very supportive and helpful.
I'm gonna miss your wise words of wisdom, alliteration.
What I miss about you is when you would give us really hard assignments and we would all whine and complain and you just laugh at us and it seemed like you enjoyed it, so I'm gonna miss that.
I'm gonna miss Mr. Hendrick's witty intellect and scorching honesty about all of his students.
I'm gonna miss him laughing at us.
Like, we're all like a little family. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just because we went to London together or something, but whenever I'm in there, it's like camaraderie and we're like all together. And like Hendrick is like our dad, and then we're like his little duckling. And it's just like a family.
My favorite thing about our class was obviously going to London and having our wonderful layovers and delays.
I missed out on that. I wish I would have gone.
That allowed us to spend so much quality bonding time together.
And you make me buy Catch Me 2 in the airport.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
My favorite thing about Mr. Hendrick's class was definitely how we always used to talk, whether it was in a class discussion or it was before a test, and we didn't think the test was fair or there were things wrong on the vocab test. We always just had great discussions, and he always helped us out.
My favorite part was all the essays because his classes definitely made me a better writer and I feel more prepared for next year.
My favorite thing about Mr. Hendrick's class is the fact that usually my students were still in his class when my class started because he gave harder tests than I did. And so I'm very thankful for the caliber and strength of the test that you gave, because it meant that I just never seemed all that hard, which is probably true. But on a serious note, I do want to thank Mr. Hendrick for making my students much better writers. My job has been easier for having had him, and it'll be a lot harder without him teaching them how to write. I might actually have to start doing that.
The interesting thing about your class, Mr. Hendricks, is that in your discussions, you orchestrated it so that everybody could get involved, even if they were shy and quiet and didn't know what to say. You always got their opinion, and it really helped broaden the view of our discussion.
My favorite thing about Mr. Hendrick's class was analyzing all the books and poems in it and being able to read all the stuff that I never would have found anyways.
All right, since Mr. Hendrick was my teacher, I can answer what my favorite part about his class. My favorite part about his class is when we would be able to have a discussion about something and we would be able to get Mr. Hendrick a little bit off topic so that we could have as much time to discuss of that and not about how bad our essays were.
The experience in the class, it was always open. We could say just about anything we wanted about like what we thought about a passage or a book. And I really appreciated that because you can't really do that in many classrooms nowadays. And he's a really good teacher, very thorough all the time. And he has a very distinctive character, which I probably won't forget for the rest of my life. And thanks, man, for real. I like your satchel too.
Thank you, Mr. Hendrick. It's been a great career. Goodbye, and thank you so much.
Thank you! See you, Mr. Hendricks. Had fun being your student the past 3 years. Have fun next year in retirement.
I hope one day you get to live in that little cottage in England countryside somewhere. And remember us. Thanks for everything that you've done for us. You've taught us so much. Have fun in England or whatever future endeavors. We love you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Peace out, Hendrick.
Bye.
Goodbye.
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 You asked me a question.
Oh, yes. How is this not MLA format? I don't understand. You marked me down for this.
Listen, I'm going to tell you guys time and time again. MOA, it's on owlpurdue.edu. How hard is it to follow that context? I don't understand. Step by step, you know, it tells you exactly what to do.
Have you been on Our Purdue? It does not tell you what
I have. In fact, I was a professor that wrote for Owl Purdue. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.